Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end, it's just the beginning.
Hello, welcome to Indie Author Roadmap, episode 7, and today we're going to be talking about publishing, the different avenues of publishing you can go down, aren't we, Rachel?
Yep. We were talking about traditional versus indie versus vanity.
Yeah, so just to say what she just said, we're doing traditional versus vanity versus indie today. And so when you started writing and stuff, did you first think, I'm going to be a published author and I'm going to be with one of the big publishers? Did you how did you start?
Is it called the Little Brown Group or something like that? That's who I was targeting because I write fantasy and I think that's what they publish. And it was back in the day when you used to get, and I've probably still got some somewhere, the artists and writers yearbooks. And they were like massive. And you got one every year and it had lists of all the agents and the publishers and all their submission stuff. And I used to get that. And then I would look at my favourite authors and who they were with. And I'm not talking Stephen King kind of favourite author, but, paranormal authors. And then who they were with, and then how I can do it and get in there.
So you sent like submissions and all
I didn't though. I never sent any. Well, I sent one. There was this author pitch website that I was on where you could pitch something. And I remember pitching my first book, and I pitched it as paranormal romance because that's what it was. And the feedback I got back was, this isn't paranormal romance, it's urban fantasy. So I'm like, okay. So then I repitched it as urban fantasy and got back, this is not urban fantasy, it's paranormal romance. I'm like, you're both doing my head in now. It's like literally the same book. Yeah. So, and I was learning how to query, and then I was learning how to edit and stuff like that. And then I just discovered indie.
Yeah. Yeah, I had before I even thought about any of it, 'cause I've been writing since I was bloody 15. I had 3 books. I had The Race, I had Meat Market, and then I had Checking Out, and those 3 were ready. Well, as far as I was concerned, I'd written them. And artists and writers and artists yearbook. I've got about 9 of them still at mum and dad's, so every edition.
And they're massive.
Yeah, they're really good. So basically, you bought that every year, read through it, 'cause it's a riveting read, and then you with it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I was first published when I was 5 3/4.
Why?
In a newspaper. I wrote a story when I was little, and I won a competition.
Residuals from that?
No, but I still am. So yeah, but it was published in the paper, and I won a competition. I think I won something like a year's supply of hula hoops.
Oh, that's nice. Have you still got the story?
Yeah, I've got the newspaper clipping. Yeah, this little drawing, and I've signed it. By me, age 5 3/4, because when you're 5, that 3/4 really makes a difference because it's nearly your birthday.
Yeah. So dig it out, and you can read the paper. You read the clip next week.
Oh God, I couldn't even tell you where it is. If I come across it, I'll show it. But yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I did send query forms and stuff off to a few publishers. Christopher, that Little Brown you were on about, I think it was Christopher Little at one point. That was the agent of J.K. Rowling eventually. I sent off to them. I sent off to a few, and then I got the rejection slips back. Only 4 or 5, and usually they were just photocopied boilerplate rejections, and then I got a few that, oh, this is promising, blah blah blah. But then I found Reader Magnets by Nick Stevenson, and just jumped into that, and he just, you know, he just kind of opened my eyes up to the idea of self-publishing. Yeah, so that's my first foray into traditional publishing. But yeah. Self-publishing, indie publishing all the way. It's weird at the moment, isn't it? Because you find like all these traditional publishers, they're sort of jumping ship, and they're doing it themselves as well, because they can see how much more money, especially with like their fan bases already, how much money they're leaving off the table. I think it was Dean Koontz that did a few years ago. He did a load of short stories and did them himself.
Yeah. And I think people think indie publishing is a new thing, and it's not. It's been around for like so many years, like centuries. Because Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol is a self-published novel.
Yeah.
When he first put that out, he couldn't get any publishers to take it, so he literally printed it himself and distributed it. And now it's one of the most classic stories ever.
Yeah, who was it? John Grisham, the firm. He was wandering around with a load of self-published copies in the back of his boot, kind of peddle them and stuff.
Andy Weir's The Martian, that was an indie book.
He was doing it on his website, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was serialising the book, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So although there's still a little bit of a stigma with self-publishing, indie publishing.
I see that all the time. If I meet someone new and they ask what I do for a living, and I'm like, I'm a writer, you now get the question of, oh, are you self-published? And if you say yes, you can instantly see them lose interest.
Yeah. So basically, are you self-published? Yeah. What? So you mean you do literally everything, and you get more...
Run your own business, and but they see it like a cop-out, don't they? Like, someone hasn't validated you by publishing you, so you've got to be crap, that's why you've had to do it yourself. Exactly,
yeah. And that's the thing, I've got one of my blog... I wrote a blog post ages ago, I think I put it up actually on the website, and it kind of dissects them, and in traditional publishing, I go through what you'll make. I mean, if you... Paula Hawkins, fair enough, you've surpassed everything with your Girl on the Train or Gone Girl or whatever, you know, if you're one of the big... But the traditional publishers, it's anything between like 5 and 10% per...
Yeah, it's rubbish. I've got a friend who used to write for Mills and Boon, and she was a very big name over in Asia and stuff like that, and she sold something like 100,000 copies of a new book in Japan. And if we sold 100,000 copies of our book in a couple of months, we'd be like this, wouldn't we? You know? She made about 50 quid.
50 quid?
Yeah, can you imagine?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How?
It's rubbish, isn't it? But it's because it's Mills and Boon, traditional published. They sell for pennies, so you literally get pennies back. And, you know, if they're only selling for $1.99 and you're only getting 5%.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have to give your agent 12%.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like the thing with traditional publishing, you start off and you'll send a query form, a query letter, not to a publisher. It's first to an agent.
To an agent, yeah.
In with the publishers. So, say you do get an agent, and it's just as hard to get an agent as a publisher, I believe. But say you do that one step and you get an agent, they're then taking 10 to 20% of whatever you make ever.
Yeah.
When they're in your camp, so you've got your agent, and then you go on to, and the agent then peddles the book to a publisher. And these publishing deals, they're just shit, aren't they? I mean, there's an author, two indie authors, Dave Lyons. He got a 3-book publishing deal, and he sold quite a few thousand copies. And he ended up with, when the quarterly check came in, he was expecting a couple of grand, and it was like 500 quid or something.
Right. Obviously, WordCamp Indie
we're camp indie.
On this podcast, we're talking about the verses. We're obviously very much in the indie thing.
Yeah, it's all doing yourself. But then you have the problem, like so taking traditional off the table. If you've written a book and you don't know you want to get it published and stuff, and you might think, oh, I'll go down the traditional route, and you see all these publishers, and you go, oh, I'll choose that one, and they're then offering to publish your book and everything for a price, then they're not a traditional publisher. What you call a vanity publisher.
Vanity, yeah, and they're probably the worst ones to go for. Because why would they bother why would they bother trying to sell your book? Because they've already earned the money because you've paid them.
It's that vanity publishers they're just horrible. They're just horrible people, and all they're doing is they know you know nothing about the industry, and being a first-time author, and they're just the comment that are there to take advantage of it. And I'm going to show you how they comment in a second. Because vanity publishers, basically, it's author services that they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're offering to publish a book for a price, and it's usually a really inflated price. For instance, you don't know how to publish a book, so you don't know that you need to. You do know it needs editing, but then it needs formatting and publishing, and you need a cover. We covered all that in the previous episode. That's basically the bare bones. But what vanity publishers do, they'll give you these different tiers of publishing. So your standard tier, your gold, and your platinum plus, blah blah blah. And these tiers, they can run into like, I saw one tier like the platinum, all singing or dancing bullshit, and it was like 12 grand to publish your book. And I clicked on it because they annoy me so much. I kind of stalk them a little bit. And I clicked on it, and it just lists everything that they do. So they'll publish your book, and they'll make it available on Amazon. But then with Amazon, they'll also enable it to have a look inside. Now that's free. As soon as you publish your book to Amazon or to whoever, there is this look inside thing. But they're making it seem that they've done that, and.
I had a friend who vanity published years ago when I was starting out, and she paid something like $3,000 for them to publish her book, which is actually quite cheap in the vanity world now. And they put the book on Amazon, but they priced it at something like £21 for the ebook, and you're like, no one's going to buy that.
No.
And she couldn't get them to reduce it or anything, and it's like, well, you've given them $3,000, they don't care anymore.
This is a conversation I've had with authors that I've helped. I said, what do you want when we get to the pricing, when I've helped them upload, what do you want to price your ebook as? And they'll say, oh, $9.99. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. And then that's a whole other conversation, me explaining and showing the different prices of ebooks and stuff. But when you don't know, you don't know.
No.
And these vanity publishers, this is going to be a whole episode now of me just
ranting about vanity.
Well, to start off with, like, they'll go, we'll publish you your paperback, and we'll format your paperback, and we'll format your ebook. And it might sound like it's all terribly complicated, but it's generally clicking two things, and it spits out different formats of it. If
you've got the likes of Vellum, you put one book in and you can literally click for all the different retailers. You can click the Kobo version, the KDP version, the print book, and it spits them all out in one neat little folder.
Exactly, yeah. But these vanity publishers, we're going to do all that for you, and then we'll publish you to, and then they'll just list all the places you can get published. So all it's doing is it's overwhelming people who don't know, and they're thinking, well, this is a really, really good deal.
It's playing on lack of knowledge.
Oh, but it just goes on like, though. Let me find it now. Or they're gonna provide you with an ISBN. Brilliant. You don't really need it. You don't really need it. In this day and age, I don't think so. ISBNs, your International Standard Book Number, is something that isn't. It doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because you're marketing face to face. and that ISBN is used to get books into shop or to order for bookshops to order your book. It's kind of the identification number, and it's just it's not how you market these days anyway. So anyway, yeah, there's this one, and it was 12 grand, and for the all singing or dancing, and you get electronic galleys of thing. I don't know what that means, and they're gonna print out 30 paperback copies for you, and they're gonna give you this, that, postcards, because you need postcards if you're going to sell books. Without postcards, you're done. And you need 5 big posters, because without those in your bedroom, you're also fucked. They just go on, and it's basically like if you went to a supermarket to buy porridge, and instead of buying what they've done, instead of selling you porridge, they're selling you all the different ingredients that go into porridge, and going, buy all these offers. This is what this is including, instead of this is how we're going to publish a book, and they'll charge you 12 grand for it. Now, if I was going to pay 12 grand for someone to publish my book, I'd expect to publish an editor to come round and toss me off every morning before I get out of bed. I'd expect some sort of service like that for my 12 grand, but they don't offer that at all. Mm-hmm. There's no inkling to any of that. It's just listing all the little steps to, business cards, you get 50 of them, brilliant. Listing all these steps to make you overwhelmed and think, that is a really good deal, look at all these things that I've got. And if you price all these things for 12 grand, which I did, all these things up, if you did them yourself, if you got your business cards, your fucking posters, and
I've got posters and postcards, you got a Vistaprint.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Even if you paid for the premium versions.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's what I did. I priced all this stuff up that they offer. A lot of it was free, but they're just listing it like, they know how to do it, and you, silly author, know nothing. You don't, so you pay us all this money and we'll do a good job, which they won't as well. I'll get onto that in a second. So I priced everything up, and it came to about 700 quid, and that's for the millions of hardbacks and paperbacks that they're giving you, and this, that, and the other. It came to about 700 quid, and they were charging 12 grand.
Wow.
It's just disgusting. And they'll give you a shit cover. Just shit cover. They're not bothered about what genre you're in. They're not bothered about any of that. It's shit cover. You don't know anything, but here's your book, and you're going to be great. You're going to be thanking them. You're going to be thanking them because you don't know.
No.
And that's why you should not just be careful.
This is the episode where Rob got mad about Vanity Publishing.
This is the whole reason I started helping authors, because Vanity Publishing.
Getting robbed,
I had an old school friend, well, not really a school friend, but we were in the same year at school, knew that I was a writer and reached out to me, and they were about to go with a Vanity publisher, something like New York Press or Cambridge Publishing. They always put like a big city, or like, Oxford International Press, all that bullshit.
Make it sound prestigious.
Yeah, and it's just some bloke in his mum's basement. It really is, And also, I've literally clicked on to some of these websites, and they've nicked the website from another actual website and just changed the name. Even the books that have been published from from Random House, they've literally nicked that website and put and put their name on top. So yeah, they're just con them. So don't go near them.
So you don't like Vanity Publishing?
No. One thing that I was doing at one point, actually, because I don't know why I do this, but it's fun. I inquire to be published by them, and then I tell them that I've got like 6 books that need publishing and all the rest of it, and I'll act a bit thick about it all, and they just lay it on thick. They go, oh, well, you need this, you need that, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'll do that. And then I got a call, and what I was going to do is, for my YouTube channel, I was going to start recording the call, and kind of, those calls when people answer the call, and they know everything, but they're just playing along.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I couldn't really get their side of it, the audio for it. But then they wouldn't stop calling me then. every day for months and months. They were hounding me, and then eventually I had to tell them, yeah, I'm a published author, and you guys are scum of the earth, and they stopped calling me then.
Yeah.
They email me, but they stopped calling me. But yeah, vanity publishers are wankers. Don't go near them. Be careful. There is people that offer author services. I offer author services, but they won't hide behind being a publisher. They'll be very upfront about it, and they won't charge you 12 grand for these author services. So that's the first 20 minutes done.
Yeah, Rob's opinion on vanity publishing.
Yeah. I could go into it more, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
I don't know how
Author, what's it called now? Author, the big one. Author House. Author House that's like the granddaddy of vanity.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Fucking wankers.
I've not. It baffles me that people would fall for it because it just seems so obvious that it's rubbish. But
it's obvious to you, but if you don't know anything and you've just written your first book and then you go on these sites and all these glowing testimonials that are made up by these authors that might not even exist, or even if they do, they're probably not even with Author House or wherever. They've just nicked their authorness and their likeness and put it on the site as a testimonial.
luckily, when I finished my first book, I was just a poor civil servant, so there was no money to pay for any vanity publishing.
Yeah. But if you've seen all that, and then you email them, and then they want it back, all of a sudden you think it's like what you've read about the big authors that have interest in the books, and you're excited, and then the rest of it, you're like, oh well, this, you know, when they say, oh well, we're going to work with you and all that, and you need to pay us this, and this, because you're kind of like under that illusion that this big publisher wants me. Look who they've published. You're thinking, oh well, this must be how it works, and you're getting the reassurance from these con men all the time. With calls, emails. You might not even look elsewhere. You might just think, I'm going to be a published author. I'm going to be a published author. This is it. This is, and that's when they mess you up. I had one author that I helped. She spent 25 grand Aussie dollars. So that's about 12 grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
In pounds, on different people taking advantage of her for this one book.
It's easy done though, especially. I mean, it's even easy to get scammed when you're paying for an editor or a book cover, or there's so many charlatans out there that are just ready to take advantage of people that have never done the stuff before.
Yeah, in saying that, from the other side of the coin, you can also get scammed. I did a load of work for this. For this author, not for this publisher, not publisher. Yeah, it was an author who wanted to publish, who wanted to become a publisher, but they didn't really know how to do it, so they wanted to freelance me to do the thing, and then they were going to charge the authors a little bit more for the finished product. So I formatted the books. I did all what I said last week. You know, I did all those bits. I had a friend that I know edit the books, who's really good, and together we kind of put this package of 5 or 6 books, and I think I charged about $2.5 grand. It didn't take a lot of time at all, and the covers were all in the same series, so it was very easy to, once I had the concept, to go on to the next one, and yeah, about $2.5 grand. It took me about 4 or 5 days. I was waiting for the editor to format because it took longer, and I charged them, and then they disappeared. They completely ghosted me. They didn't hear everything was gone of them. I could not contact them at all, and I'm like, fuck man, you owe me $2.5 grand here.
Yeah.
And still, even now, I can't find them, and I can't find the books either, which is weird, on Amazon or anything.
No.
Yeah. So even lowly service providers can get scammed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had a contract in place, but because they're New Zealand based, I'm not sending lawyers over there for $2.5 grand, am I? You know.
No.
They might as well disappear
Cost
forever.
that for someone to pick up the phone.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. So that's vanity publishing.
Yeah.
And then let's get on to indie publishing. You go.
I don't know what to say now. Indie publishing is the best one.
Why is it the best?
Why is it the best? Because if you're a control freak like me, you get to control everything.
What happens if you get really overwhelmed with stuff? I mean, the control.
So you do a Robin, you unpublish everything and start again.
You've got one book out. This is not that sort of show.
If you're just starting out and you've got a new book, then you tune into the Indie Author Roadmap and they'll help you. And you can ask them.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know. I like the indie author bit because you're at 70% royalties. Yeah, even if you go through someone like Draft Digital, you're on 60% there, so you get most of your royalties is yours. You can literally do what you want with your books. You know, you can put them where you want. You can publish them where you want. You can go wide. You can go KU. I like that, and I also like that no one can tell you about the book itself. Like my friend that wrote The Mills and Boon, I remember she spent 6 months writing a book. She sent it off to the publishers. They made her rewrite half of it, change the title, change the main character, change how it ended. And she was just like, you could just see the devastation. And actually she doesn't write anymore now because they've literally just ruined it for her.
This isn't the book I wrote.
No! And then, so the joy of writing that she had when she originally started out is just gone and she doesn't write anymore. And I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever have that power of my stuff and me. So yeah, I like the indie because you make some money, you publish your books, you get some readers. You know.
I mean, there's when you go indie, you're deciding that you're the CEO, boss, god of your books.
Yeah.
And it can be absolutely terrifying in the beginning, but it's just things you need to do. It's just things you need to learn, like the publishing process. Like we went through it last week. That the bare bones of the publishing process. It's not that difficult to learn.
And
there's skill behind it, like covers. But once you've done that, you can now publish it. You are now a publisher. You can publish it. What people get overwhelmed with is the marketing side afterwards.
The thing is, with being an indie author, you can literally do as little as you want. So you can literally write your book, get a cover, get it edited, format it, put it on Amazon, never do anything with it. That's it. That's you done.
Yeah.
And you are a published author. Or you can go into everything. You know, go and learn Facebook ads, go and learn Amazon ads, hire someone. You can go as big or as little as you want with it.
Yeah, and I think it's that having all those choices that can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
As well, I've had it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shiny thing. I want all. You know, this works for someone. This works for another. I'll do them all, and I'll have twice everything. But you don't have anything because you're not concentrating on selling your books, and that's what indie publishing is all about. And you do have to be half the time at least. You're a sleazy salesman, aren't you?
I think that was one of the hardest things was learning to sell my books. And me and my friend used to have a joke that you feel like a whore all the time trying to sell your books and big your book up and make it sound fantastic, and then that imposter syndrome voice comes in and goes, yeah, but it's not really. What if they discover it's crap? Yeah.
But I mean, I went on about it in last week's episode, time versus money. Again, you could spend a lot of time marketing and do it all yourself, and it won't cost as much, but you need to put the time in.
Yeah.
Or you could invest in ads, spend a little bit of time working out what might sell and stuff, and then put a little bit of money into promoting and have other places like Amazon, like Facebook, do the promoting for you, do the marketing for you, showing people your books, and it's always that time versus money, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just indie is good. I love it, and more than anything else, like when you were back before really indie started, you know, and you're a reader and you're reading your Stephen King or you're reading your John Grisham, and then you see them meet, and you think, how are they even together? These people in the same room,
Yeah.
like on a program or whatever, because they're not part of each other's networks. They'll certainly know about each other because they're big authors, but they're not part of each other's network. And I think the best thing, apart from having access to your readers, about being indie is the networking, is being part of a community that is so giving, because they were there, they were where you are not that long ago, and it isn't that long ago.
No.
6 years maybe, and they were the newbies starting out, and everyone's always paying it forward in the indie.
The community is great. Like, I was at the last 20 books at Vegas thing, and I can be quite introverted, so going to a place where there's like 1,500 other authors, and then you're in these rooms after all the sessions and everyone's there. But it was such a great community because you literally just stood there like looking lost, and someone would always come up to you and start talking, and then you would stand there talking to this other author as if you were both best friends and you'd literally just met. And it was such a nice bubble for a week to be with all, and you were always talking to somebody.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, it's the network, isn't it? And it's when you do it live, it's weird. But even before you even, like, if you went to a conference or whatever, just being online, just keep saying "just Rob." Something will pop out eventually. Just being online and just. I can't say just. Sounds like a made up word already.
Go online and join the communities because they're great.
Okay, I know what I was saying now. Just being online and just being part of that community, like the indie author communities that pop up, they're brilliant, and you become mates with these different authors.
That's literally why we're here.
Exactly,
because we met online in one. I spotted you, I think, in the 20 books group. You were talking about YouTube. I went and watched your 24-hour write-a-thon thingy. I did you on Facebook. Then happened to meet up with you at one of these get-together things.
Yeah, exactly. Right. When I started writing, I did really well when I started publishing, indie publishing. Meat Market did really well for me, and it just stuck for ages in the comedy satire groups and stuff. So people were reaching out to me, new authors who were in the same genre were reaching out to me because I was number 1, number 2 with Meat Market for months, and it was a big deal for me. But it must have looked like I was making it, you know. I was like this whirlwind author. So I made a lot of mates that was in the same genre as me, and there was one particular, Simon, became really good friends, and we wrote similar novels, Ladlit style novels, and for 10 years we've been mates. And I get to, but he lives on street. He's from Yorkshire, bless him.
Someone has to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and we chat now and again over Facebook Messenger, but usually it would be just by texting and stuff. And then he was over for the London conference in June, and it was the first time, even though we know each other so well, and we've had long chats, just taking the piss out of each other and all the rest of it. It was the first time we met face to face.
Yeah.
I spent 2 days getting drunk with him. It was just brilliant, It was just, he is my person kind of thing, because we've known each other so long, and also, seeing you again, was great, and seeing a couple of authors that I know, it is really good.
I don't think you get that so much in the traditional world.
No.
Because when you're traditional, your contact is with your agent, and then there's people are controlling what you can and can't post and what you can and can't do on social media. Not that you want to do anything nasty or anything, but you can't speak about certain things and stuff like that. Whereas when you're indie, no one stops you doing whatever you want.
Yeah, and it's also with traditional. I remember reading an article. It was Neil Gaiman saying that he was at a signing at the beginning of his career with Terry Pratchett, who was also at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
And two people turned up, but then obviously they became mates then, because they but the only way they've even met each other would have been because they were both their publisher or their agents has booked them into this signing event in the bookshop or wherever it was. Whereas everyone knows each other in these little communities, and that's what we're trying to build as well.
Yeah.
But in these communities online, indie publishing communities, you do know each other and you become friends with a pocket of people, and you see them at the groups, these little pockets of people.
Yeah.
You just know that they've been mates forever online.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's to say traditional is bad, like if it's the way you want to go.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of advantages of being traditional, because you can get your books out wider, you can get them into the more of the bookshops. You can get them into libraries. There's a lot more you can do if your book's traditional.
Yeah, and they're footing the bill, and they're paying.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they pay you for your editor. They're paying for your cover. You've still got to do the marketing side, I believe, now.
That's just kind of how it is now. I don't think that was. Well, it's always been a case, hasn't it? They've always had to go on, even before the internet and stuff. But I think now, even traditional authors, they're seeing the indie world, and they're seeing how they're having direct contact with the readers, and they have their own support. They don't have a publisher, but they have a support network of peers, of other indie authors and stuff. And I think that's why, traditionally now, because of the internet, because of all the rest of it, they want direct access to the readers, and that's why they do their own marketing more than. They want to sell the book, obviously, but they want their readers on their side. They don't want their readers to be, signed up to Simon and Schuster or something. They want them to be signed up to.
It's them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we go on, the lines between indie and traditional are kind of blurring, because the indies are now getting into the bookstores.
Yeah.
And you go in the works. I've seen. There's people like J.D. Kirk, who's Barry Hutchinson. I've chatted to him at conferences. I know he's an indie author, and there he is in a bookstore. I remember chatting to him, actually, because he was publishing children's books as Barry Hutchinson.
And his book, Ben 10 books? Or
something like that. And his book happened to come out the same day a David Walliams book came out from the same publisher. And he just sank his book and he got nothing. And I think he just was like, screw this. And he went off and did it on his own. And now he has the J.D. Kirk, and he's very successful.
So that's so when you do become indie published, as I'm sure you will be, listening to us to waffle on, you've then got a decision to make, and that is, are you going to go wide, or are you going to be exclusive to Amazon? And all the authors that I help always say, I want to go wide, I want to be everywhere. And then you've been wide. You tell me what is wide versus.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got some of my books wide, and I think it depends on your genre. So wide is basically you're in all the bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Apple. There's loads of little ones as well, isn't there? There's hundreds of them, and plus you're on Amazon, obviously. But you can't be in their Kindle Unlimited, so anyone who has a Kindle Unlimited subscription will not be able to read your book through their subscription service. And I know if you say that to somebody, do you want to just be on Amazon, or do you want to be in all the bookstores? They're going to go, I want to be in all the bookstores. But the downside of that is Kindle Unlimited is a massive market, and a lot of people make a lot of their income from there.
So Kindle Unlimited is the Netflix for books, basically. You pay a subscription, and I think it's, I don't know, about, is it 5, 6?
I think it's about $10 a month now.
So about $10 a month.
You can read as many books as you want, They're in KU.
Yeah. And for free. I mean, you pay the subscription, and you can, as a reader, you can read anything in the KU store, basically. It's called a borrow. You download it like you would download a book on Amazon if you were to buy it. But do you have it? Do you have it forever, or is it until you finish?
I mean, you have it until you either stop paying your subscription or return it.
Right.
Because even if the author unlists it, so say for example you've got your books on KU and then you decide no, I'm going wide, but someone's downloaded all your books for KU, they can still read them as KU.
Yeah, but yeah.
Because Amazon will still honour it as a KU read, but once they've finished it or whatever, they couldn't re-borrow it.
Yeah. So yeah, KU, and then from an author's point of view, if you're in KU, your ebook is exclusive to Amazon. You can't have it anywhere else. You can't even have it on your website. You can't even send a copy to your nan, because they'll find out.
Yeah. You get 5 days to sort it out, or they're going to ban you from KU.
Yeah. You've got 5 days to tell your nan to return it and not read it. Otherwise, the Amazon SWAT are going to be.
They'll first remove you from book from KU, and then if you're still not listening, then they start getting serious and start banning you.
Yeah. So from an author's point of view, it has to be completely exclusive. Just your ebook, though.
Yeah.
And then from that ebook, anyone in the KU ecosystem will read, and it goes off page reads, and you get paid per page, and it's something like 0.0004
something, yeah,
cents a page, which sounds really, really shit. But then when you get 1 million people, 1 million page reads a month, all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 grand. So it does add up.
It does. If you've written an 80 to 100,000 word book and they read the book fully, it pretty much comes in at the same price as if they bought it.
Yeah, it's about $3, isn't it? $3.
Yeah. So by the time, so it still works out roughly the same. So yeah, the only downside is you can't be everywhere else.
You can't be everywhere else, and also when you have a reader magnet, this is something that I've kind of grabbed, and I've done it both ways. But when you have a reader magnet, so you've got the free thing to put on to get people to sign up to your list. That can't be in KU.
No.
So if you're exclusive to Amazon, you have this one book or 2 book or whatever that's just there on its own, and it's because it needs to be wide.
Yeah.
And then you need to or nowhere, literally nowhere. So it could be wide everywhere, or it's literally nowhere, and it's exclusive to your sign-ups.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got my reader magnet. I managed to get it on Amazon as a perma-free. I don't know if they do them anymore.
I've battled for years.
Yeah, I got mine as both mine as perma-free, so they just sit there as perma-frees on Amazon.
I've had, because I give away, for Rob Radcliffe, I give away Race and my blog book. I've battered, just emailing them, this is perma-free, this is free everywhere else, could you match it? And they will do for a while, and then I'll go back down to the minimum, which is 99p/99 cents. And it's just constantly, so I've just left it now. I just let it be a little bit of money if people choose to buy it, because I'm offering it for free.
Yeah.
On my website and back of books and stuff for sign up. But it's so annoying because sometimes it's perma-free and then sometimes it isn't. Amazon just seem to juggle it.
Yeah, they play.
I
know Amazon have a thing at the moment with one of my books. It's like every other month I get a message, and that's the other thing. If you're not in KU, you can't use any of the promotional tools on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the advantages, because my best-selling series is in KU, and it's got to be every other month that I get an email putting one of the books out of that series into the Kindle deals.
Right.
Which obviously they push that with their emails to people. Yeah. The Kindle daily deals and the Kindle monthly deals. Yeah, I must get that every other month. But I couldn't get that if I wasn't in KU with that series.
If you wasn't, no. And also, when you are in KU, I mean, all my books are in KU, and that's not really because of page reads. That wasn't the decision that I went on. It was just more for lack of overwhelm, because I've done the wide thing, and just having all those different places my book is, it fucks my brain up.
Yeah.
And then I find that I don't do anything with anything, because I have to check here, I have to check. Whereas with everything just being on Amazon, it's just one platform that I have to check all my sales and everything, and working out also ad spends and stuff like that. If it's everywhere and different places report in different ways and at different times, it's just messed my head up. So that's the reason I'm on Amazon. Although the page reads are quite nice as well.
Yeah. Page reads are good. I think it depends what kind of read you get and whether it's worth it. Like, there's one of my series. It's just like a contemporary thing. It's not a KU genre, so I have it as wide, and it does fine.
Yeah.
You know, and when I've put it in KU, it, like, lucky if it got 7,000 reads a week, and I'm like, I'm not losing anything by taking it out of KU.
Have you marketed it as a KU book? You know, when it's been in KU, you know, have you done your?
I've tried to. I think it's just the genre. Like, if you write romance or urban fantasy or something like that, then they need to be in KU, because those readers, they just burn through books.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, like my Rob Radcliffe stuff, I've often thought, why is it in KU? But then I see some authors like Nick Spalding, and he's killing it, and he's writing exactly what I'm writing, and I'm thinking, well, there is that audience.
Yeah.
You know, it is there, but
even J.K. Rowling's in KU with Harry Potter.
J.K. Rowling can do anything.
I know, she's funny, because if you look at the contract that she wrote, she set herself up very well. But but even she's in KU. Her page reads must be amazing.
That's it. And also, like, going back to being traditionally published, like, Amazon have their own imprints. And it's, are you traditionally published through them?
I'm not sure.
Because I know they've got a few imprints. I think I should have looked this up, but it's just come to me now, so it would have been part of the show. But I think if you're doing really well self-publishing on your own, and, you know, Amazon, they're seeing the sales, they might offer you a contract where they've got you. I don't think there's like an advance. I don't think in the traditional sense there, but they've got you, and then they will actively push, but they'll sort of like deal with all the marketing side. I think that's how it'd be interesting to know. I'm going to find out afterwards. But I think that this author that writes in similar genre to me, to my Rob Radcliffe stuff, is Nick Spalding. I think he's with one of their imprints. Yeah. So that's why he's in KU, but he can also, I don't know.
Depends what deal they've got, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends what deal.
Yeah, I think wide versus KU is. I think it's got lots of it depend answers. Depends what you want. Depends on your genre. Because
ideally, if you go traditional published, you'll never get this now. But there's a few authors that used to get it. They did really, really, really well self-publishing the books, and then a traditional publisher will go, right, we want you. You've shown us that you can make money. We want it. And they've jumped on you and they've offered you a decent size advance, and then you've managed to negotiate the ebook out of the contract, so you still control the ebooks. Hugh Howey did it, didn't he? Back in
well, that's what J.K. Rowling did. That's why her Harry Potters the ebooks are actually self-published, because when she got the deal, there was no Kindle, and she had it out the contract that she would have the future versions of whatever medium.
And that that's it, innit? As well. I mean, like, traditionally published, they're not on the cusp of anything anymore. They're playing catch up. And when the e-reader came out, they thought it'd just be a fad.
Yeah.
Even when the Kindle came out and it was doing really, really well, they thought it'd just be, it'll die off because, we've been here for 100 years and we use dead tree, not, and all these contracts and these savvy publishers, savvy authors would say, well, I want the ebook version because that's all they're selling in anyway.
Yeah.
You can have print, and they managed to get it. So then you've got a traditional publisher that's hopefully publishing your book, and if somehow they manage to market it effectively and you have a hit, you can just sit back and everyone's buying the ebook and they've just spent all their marketing money on producing this massive hit for you, basically.
Yeah.
But it's usually these days you're not going to get your ebook rights. They're the first thing people are going to be asking for. Although
that's where the money is.
Yeah, I did see it not long ago, actually. There was an author who managed to retain their ebook rights, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Especially if you somehow look into a film or a Netflix series or something, and you've still got those rights, you're laughing then.
One of the downsides of being KU exclusive, though, is that you can't get onto the big lists like the USA Today bestseller list and the New York Times lists and this, because you have to have so many sales in all the different bookstores. But I'm not sure how important that kind of stuff is anymore.
There's one of them that counts ebook sales as well, though, isn't there? Is it
I don't know which one it is.
Today?
But then how many times do you look at a book and think, oh, I'll buy that because they're a USA Today bestseller? I mean, I don't.
I think Joanna Penn said, because she's wide, and she did this big push to be a USA Today bestseller, and she said it just wasn't worth it.
I wish they had a version of KU that you could be in that was maybe at a reduced rate, but you could still be wide. So maybe those that were exclusive got a higher page read amount, and those that were wide got maybe half the amount.
Right, yeah.
No, I'd be up for definitely being for that. That'd be good.
Yeah. But then if you're killing it on page read amount, you're thinking, oh, should I take my books out because I get a higher? It'd be the other way around.
I actually was wide on my my Death Dealer series. I was wide and I was doing really well, and then I got a BookBub, and I noticed Amazon was going really well with the BookBub, and I thought, I wonder what this would be like if I chucked it in KU. So literally as the BookBub was running, I chucked it in KU, and my read just went massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did it like Peter and then start dying, or?
It stayed consistent for a few months, to be honest, and then I never took him back wide.
Another problem with wide versus exclusive, if you swap and change. Now, I have, obviously, because all the shiny things, I've swapped and changed over the 10 years I've been published. 10 years. 10 years next month I've been published. Yeah. Brilliant. Anyway, so I've swapped and changed over the years because of the shiny thing syndrome. I've read all the books about going wide. I've read all the books about being exclusive. I'm now exclusive for Brain. I have been wide, and one of the problems is your readers. Now, your readers are yours. If you're in KU, you're going to have a lot of readers that are in KU because they read a lot, so this is the cheapest way to do it for them, and their favourite authors are in KU.
Yeah.
I'm not in KU. I read on my on Apple. Apple, but I buy my books from Apple Books just because I don't like Kindle.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it is. So usually I buy my books on Apple. So I basically champion those that are wide while being in KU. Weird, yeah. I should just get used to reading on Kindle, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
But if your reader is in KU and then you decide to go wide, they're going to be a bit pissed off because they're going to have to then buy your books, but they don't buy books. They borrow books, and you cost nothing to them. And it's so difficult to be to find, like, if you're going from KU to wide, it's so easy for that reader to go, well, I'm not going to read any more of their books. I've still got another million different authors and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to be happy with you.
I've seen some authors who do they'll publish the book wide for so long, and then after like 90 days, they're like, then it's going in KU, so this is your chance to get it on the other platforms.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But then if readers,
it's a lot of
the other way around, if you've got like your wide readers and then you decide to go into KU, well, this person's got a Kobo or this person's got a Nook.
Yeah.
And they don't go anywhere near Amazon because of ethical reasons, or they don't like it or whatever. And then you just basically ghosted that reader.
Yeah.
You know, because you're after the page reads or whatever. So it is difficult, and especially, you know, the law will be on your newsletter list and stuff. So it's like you said, that is probably a good idea to go wide for X amount of times, service those fans, and then jump into KU.
Yeah. The other thing to consider though is if for whatever reason Amazon ban your account, if you're Amazon exclusive, boom, overnight you've gone. And I'm sure you've seen it happen to authors where they've woke up and their Amazon accounts has been suspended.
It's scary, isn't it? I mean,
because it's eggs in one basket, kind of scary.
And some don't get it back. Some
no.
You know, was it Mark Racklew,
the little German guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does self-help books, and he's done tremendously well. And he's never been wide. He's always been in KU, and he just does it everywhere. You know, every different translation, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Self-help books. He's a speaker, and all the rest of it. That's his little niche, and he uses Amazon ads. He didn't use Facebook. This is how he's made his business, through Amazon. He champions them all the time. They've given him his living. He loves them.
Yeah.
They love him. And they banned him. I mean, I get it. It's not someone going, oh, fucking hate that German guy.
No, it's an algorithm that picks you up.
Algorithm. Yeah, which is weird. And then the other thing that's scary about being in KU, because you're exclusive, if your book's found anywhere else, then you're going to be, like you said, you're going to be getting these 5-day cease and desist, get it off that site. But if it's been pirated, you can't do anything about it.
No, and I've seen authors have that problem.
And the problem with Amazon is, it's not a person writing you this email.
No, it's an algorithm
throwing it out. And you can't track to the bottom and say, well, actually, that's a pirate site. I mean, Amazon must know about these pirate sites, and they must get it.
Yeah.
But first of all, you're going to get one of those algorithm emails, aren't you? You know,
it's
detected it on whatever website is the pirated website. It's just, it can be a little bit scary having eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
The alternative is set up your own bookshop.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an episode in itself, though.
Yeah, direct sales. That seems to be the growth as well. I think that'll be the growth of 2025. Will be the direct sales. It was really taking off last year.
For you?
No, for indie authors.
Have you got a?
No, I'm too lazy.
Too lazy. Yeah.
Too lazy.
Too busy being ill.
Yeah. I just. It's one of those things, because I was talking to Adam about it over a year ago, and he was like, just do it, and I'm like, I will, and I'm a year later, still not done it. Yeah,
he went to AP Beswick. He's a mutual friend of ours that just
he goes to book vault.
But he set up his staff to go into a mastermind group with Craig Martell. Came back from that, and he's like, right, well, direct sales is the way. He was in KU at the time, but it was for his print books. But the good thing for him is the majority of his sales were print books, because he's the TikTok maestro. So, and the buying habits of them is they'll buy the hardback or the paperback book.
Yeah.
They'll read it, and then they'll do a review. So they need the thing. So that's why he was getting a lot of paperback and hardback sales. So obviously the next step for him would be to cut out
The middleman. Yeah.
40% that Amazon took.
It's a lot.
The
Well,
PO.
on your paperback stuff, it's a lot. You don't get much.
No, you don't.
Because you've got all the printing and shipping costs and everything with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've done. I mean, also fortunately for him, his books are quite small. They're about 70,000 words. But you know, you if you write like a 100,000, 150,000 word book, you put it on print on demand, paperback on Amazon. They're taking 40%. It's a big book anyway, so it's more pages to print. You'd be lucky to be able, and then you have to price it reasonably, otherwise no one's going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to make as much from your print book as you would your ebook. There's all these different components. So if you had that 40% that Amazon take to as part of your margin on your own bookshop, and you're selling via TikTok, Instagram, whatever, so that's where your traffic's coming from anyway. So that you send them to a link that they then buy from your own shop. Breath. Then you might as well do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another thing we've got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I designed his Adam's first site, his apbezerit.com, and then when he took off and he did really well and he decided that he needed to become a company, AP Bezerit
Publications or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Then he was jumping on the his own store and stuff as well. So he went with Shopify, and then obviously Shopify, you've got your own website anyway there.
Yeah.
You know, you're rebranding everything. It's great. It looks great. It's so white, clean, crisp. It looks brilliant. The branding's fantastic. Yeah, that's. It might be a bit of an overwhelm episode. This actually, quite spoken about quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the take home from all of it is, fuck vanity publishers. Not literally. That'd be weird.
No.
Just don't go anywhere near.
Don't run away. Anyone asks you for any money for publishing your book, run.
Unless you're inquiring about help, that's a different thing. But if
But anyone that's offering to charge you for them to hit publish, run away.
Yeah. Go on YouTube.
Yeah.
Listen to us. Listen to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who has indie author something or indie something or self-publishing. They're championing the community of indie authors. They're not pretending to be something they're not and want all your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many minutes are we at now? Let me see.
1 hour and 7.
Wow, longest episode. I have to leave.
There hasn't been that many fuck-ups either.
No, I haven't coughed a lot.
Yeah. What are we doing next week?
Building confidence in your writing is what we've got listed next.
That's a crafty one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got a lot to say about that?
I don't know. We can make it up.
Have you got 45 minutes worth of stuff? 'Cause,
Well, we could talk about lots of things. We could talk about writing. We could talk about writing schedules.
yeah. So let's. Yeah, it can be building confidence in your writing, and then we'll just cover a lot. We'll just start waffling.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so next week is building confidence in your writing, episode 8. I hope this was a very informative episode. Really.
Yeah.
We have covered quite a lot, haven't we, in the 1 hour and 8 minutes? Yeah. And that'll be us, won't it? Please like, subscribe, share. If you know any authors, share the show with them. Share the show with them, and say hello.
Yeah. Come join our little Facebook group.
Join our little Facebook group or like our page and say hello. We love saying hello to people. The only people we talk to are the ones we've imagined.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to say hello to real ones.
Yeah.
You're just going to keep saying yeah to everything I'm saying.
Yeah. It just goes along with your just.
Okay. On that bombshell, see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.